trying to get you out of there.
So what do you do in situations where there might be a situation where they need pain and suffering? How does that intersect with the workers' compensation?
When they get hurt at work?
Yes.
There's no way to get them pain and suffering. So it only is their lost wages and medical treatment. In a scenario where, if it's like a construction site and there's multiple employers and general contractors, or if it had to do with, you know, the way an employer is set up where they have different entities for maybe managers versus, you know, the rank and file workers, there's a potential where there could be a personal injury matter. It's called a third party matter, where they can get pain and suffering in that case. But in workers' comp, there's never any pain and suffering for a Pennsylvania workers' compensation case.
So have there been any particular case that has kind of changed the way you've practiced law, that is really memorable to you?
There's been, you know, quite a few cases that are memorable. I wouldn't say necessarily that changed the way I practice, but a case that comes to mind is it's a fatal claim petition. So my client is the family of an injured worker who passed away, and it was just kind of like a freak accident. He was away on a business trip, packing to leave, bent over in the hotel room, kind of had like a sudden back pain shooting down his leg, needed to have emergency surgery, and then 2 weeks later he died from a pulmonary embolism.
Wow.
Yeah, it was tragic. 2 young kids left behind. So litigating that case, it's something I always remember just because I became very close with his mother and the 2 children. And that was a unique case because we had to connect those dots of...
I was going to say, so where's the connection? Because you say he's home packing.
He's in the hotel room packing.
Oh, when he's at the work trip.
Yes, okay. And then so that happens there, but he died from a pulmonary embolism.
Yeah, ultimately 2 weeks later.
Yeah, so the connecting those dots, we had to take an orthopedic surgeon. We took a pulmonologist just to explain, you know, the incident happened at work. You know, he was on a business trip. But the pulmonary embolism happened weeks later in his house. But it was, you know...
As a result of...
Exactly.
As a result of, you know, whether the treatment or the surgery or wouldn't have happened other than...
Yeah.
But for...
I was going to say, we don't necessarily have a but-for test. But, it was, you know, but for that work injury, he'd still be here.
Wow. I mean, how tragic for his family, but... Luckily that he had the ability to get those lost wages
to his kids. Yeah, absolutely. And it, you know, you're never going to make them whole, and it's nowhere near enough money.
Well, I guess I was thinking that, like, so was he entitled to the lost wages just up to the point that he passed away? Or?
No, so it's fatal claim petitions in Pennsylvania are unique. If you have children under the age of 18, they're entitled to their lost wages until they turn the decedent's lost wages until they turn 18.
Oh, okay.
Or if they're over 18 but in college. Also, a spouse who is not remarried is entitled to the lost wages.
Okay.
Yeah, but you're stuck in time. There's no cost of living adjustment or anything like that.
So whatever his wages were at that particular time.
Exactly.
But at least there's income coming into the house ultimately.
Correct. If you know, he was the sole breadwinner.
Okay.
For his children, so. So
and also those medical costs that had incurred during that period as well.
Correct. Yeah, they were covered. I think insurance had actually already covered them, but the co-pays that they paid out of pocket were recouped.